Okay, everybody, welcome to another video, and this is a video that I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into more than one part. I just put together a quick list of the top 6 reasons that I would recommend staying a cash-based / cash-only practice. And to clarify, that does not just mean paper money, credit, debit cards, HSA cards, FSA cards, and paper money, but why we should stay cash-based and not become a hybrid practice or start taking insurance. I've been getting this question a lot recently from people who are just getting started with doing their own solo practice, and they're asking me, like, why should I stay cash-based, or like, why did you, Morgan, stay cash-based rather than going down the insurance route? And I would say over time, just since I've kind of been in this realm compared to when I first started several years ago, there were more people who are very much on the side of the fence of cash only. And I would say now there's probably more people who are kind of in the middle and are either promoting or operating a hybrid practice, which looks like both cash and insurance, or in some combination in between. And I think that just goes to show that, like, over time things can change, which is totally fine. But in case you are in a place where you're first getting started, or you actually did just start your practice, and maybe where I get this question too is if you feel like you're kind of like struggling to get patients. One thought process that sometimes people have is, oh, maybe if I take insurance then I will get a bunch more patients. And while I cannot speak to the actual objective numbers and data for that, I do not believe that that is ever going to be the number one selling point for your potential patients. It might be something that fits your audience, but most of the time people are going to work with you when they understand what it is that you do, what problems you solve, what solution and results they can expect by working with you, amongst other things. Like the insurance piece is just a tiny factor, if anything at all. So anyway, like if you're just getting started and wondering, should I take insurance, should I not, should I just be cash, or you've gotten going and you're wondering if you should look into that realm, I wanted to talk about today the top 6 reasons why I would stay cash-based, and I still am only cash in my solo practice, and take what fits with what you're looking for, leave what doesn't. This is 100% my opinion and based on my own experience, and it would be worth it to you to look into other information about this as well. And let me know in the comments down below if you want me to make a part 2. I can try to find some more information or tell you a little bit more about like the structure of my cash-based practice too, and how all of that works. But yeah, just let me know if you're looking for more information. So number 1, the reason why I would recommend staying cash-based instead of taking insurance is you are just getting started. You are literally just starting to research opening a practice, what it takes to create a business entity. Maybe you just bought my mini course, Therapy Business Basics, which teaches you how to set up your own solo practice. You can find it on my website. And you aren't really sure what you're planning on doing. And so for that person, I always recommend just staying cash, because if you aren't sure who you're trying to work with, how it's gonna look, how you're going to do like care delivery, you're not sure about a lot of stuff, I don't think there's any reason to be looking into insurance reimbursement and setting up contracts when you don't have a clear path ahead of you. So staying cash, it makes the whole process of selling visits and packages to patients so much easier. You don't have to worry about a lot of other stuff and a lot of other details going on. I also recommend this for people who are just getting started and are seriously considering taking insurance as well. Most of the time I speak with people who are like primarily cash-based and potentially looking into accepting Medicare as well. But what I recommend doing is, after you set up your practice and set up your pricing and you kind of have a better idea of what you're doing, stay cash-based until you reach a certain threshold of inquiries about insurance. So, you know, if you're wondering, for example, about Medicare, I would suggest having a wait list for everybody who contacts your practice and asks about, you know, if you take Medicare. Something that I would say if I were looking into it would be, you know, great question, totally understand, you know, wanting to know about that. Our practice is not currently accepting Medicare. However, we are planning on looking into it further this year and potentially looking into accepting it this fall. Would you be interested in being put on our wait list? And then I can contact you when that does come to fruition. Then that way, when people contact you and ask about it, you don't immediately just say no, and then they say, okay, cool, thanks, and, you know, and then you never hear from them again. But you give yourself another opportunity to reach back out to this person if in fact you do end up going down that route, or you have some other kind of offer that might be appropriate for them. So then that way, you're, like I said, so creating more opportunities for yourself. And what this will do over time is you'll start to gather data of what insurances are, I guess, maybe most popular in your area or with your audience. So then that way you're not trying to get credentialed with whatever, 5 different insurances, when in your local area there might really only be 2 that actually, you know, would impact your business's operation. So I hope that all makes sense, but I would say set a threshold for yourself. Maybe it's after 10 inquiries about Medicare, for example. Once you hit that threshold, then you'll seriously start looking into how it works and how to get credentialed. But otherwise, you can kind of put it on the back burner for now. Reason number 2, why you might consider staying cash-based instead of going down the insurance or hybrid route. You plan on staying solo. You plan not to scale. This is what my practice has always looked like. I have several friends who do this, where it's, I think Danny Mattei in his book, he calls it a lifestyle business versus a real business. Don't quote me on that, but it's in Danny Mattei's book. I believe he calls it a lifestyle versus a real business, and a real business is one that scales. You hire, and it's with the ultimate goal of being able to step out of always treating or always being in the business, and it's something that can grow without you. What I have and the people that I work with typically have is more of a lifestyle business, where it's something that I can own and operate myself and continue to treat patients with the goal of it supporting me, helping me with my own financial goals, but I don't really have plans to hire any other therapists or anybody else. It has a ceiling, and that's okay. So if that is you, you know, I think that it would just be a lot easier to stay on the cash-based side. That's one of the reasons why I do it, and I guess this is reason number 5, so we'll skip to that one. But it's a lot easier to keep track of your billing, do your bookkeeping, and just kind of have a better general sense of your revenue as a single therapist practice without any prior business experience. If you stay cash, then you don't have to worry about extra stuff with getting insurance reimbursement. It's very straightforward to charge a patient, and you're paid in real time. So if you're planning on staying solo and you're not planning to scale, at least for right now, you can always change your mind, and you want the admin and operation stuff to be as simple as possible, I would stay cash-based. And going along with that, reason number 3, there are a lot of therapists who start their own practice while they're still working full-time or part-time. And if they're doing their own practice and doing it on the side, I would highly recommend just staying cash-based, referring back to the previous reason, because if you're just doing it on the side and you're not looking to make it into your full-time thing, at least, I think it's a lot simpler and a lot easier to just stay on the cash-based side. Like I said, you can always change your mind, but as long as it is a side gig for you, unless you're a whiz with insurance, I suppose, you can just stay on the cash-based side, and it'll be a little bit simpler. Reason number 4 that I would suggest staying cash-based practice is you want to spend your time doing other things. And this could look like, for example, me, I just don't want to spend extra time trying to figure out billing, which I know if I spent time learning it, then I would get into a rhythm. But for lots of the other reasons that I listed, I don't want to spend the time really to learn, you know, and that's okay, versus somebody who is really into figuring out insurance reimbursement and credentialing and all of that. Also totally okay. But I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to spend my time with my husband, in the gym, with my dog, doing nothing, doing other things just in life that I want to do. So that could be you. Or like more business related, if you want to spend your time starting to do like online coaching or programming, or you want to build and sell a digital product, you know, you really want to get into content creation, you just want to do other stuff in the business and find other ways to, I suppose, kind of scale or just kind of like spread things out and have multiple income streams, then just stay cash based, you know, and then that way you can use that time to dedicate to other things that you want to do rather than the billing side of things. And then lastly, the number 6 reason is if trying to figure out insurance and learning about it and how to submit your billing and all of that, if it just plain stresses you out, don't worry about it. That is a totally valid reason to just not want to worry about it. That's okay. There are tons of other ways that you can grow your business. And like I said, even if you want to just keep it low key, that's fine too. But if, you know, a lot of people leave their full-time therapy jobs like I did because it was significantly affecting my mental health. And if trying to figure out this whole insurance versus cash versus hybrid thing is something that's stressing you out and you don't know what insurance is to look into, you don't know what the reimbursements are, you don't know how it works, and that just feels all super, super overwhelming to you, don't worry about it. I give you my permission. You don't have to worry about it. You know, or at the very least, you can put it on the back burner for a while, because like the reason you got into this is to not be super stressed out and have a bajillion paperworks to do. So those are a few of the reasons that I usually share with people, and that's why I wanted to make a video about it, because I've been getting asked about cash versus insurance versus hybrid a lot. So if there are other questions that you guys have about this, or even like any other reasons that I didn't touch on about like why you're considering being cash-based or why you are cash-based, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to discuss everything a little bit more. And if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and you can always find more information on my website at morganmeese.com. So I'll see you on the next video.